Welcome back, Board Masters. SEO Matt here with part 2 of my collection update. Last week in part 1, I covered my base collection and all the items that I'm missing. If you haven't watched that yet, I highly recommend you check that out first. But today, I get to show off all my customs, prototypes, special packages, books, cards, and other Skylanders merch that are in my collection. Honestly, I didn't realize just how much I had until I started mapping out this video. So let's get to it. We'll start off this bonus section of my collection by talking about some of the most obvious figures, I think. That would be the custom figures that I have received over the years or purchased over the years. There's a few of each. First up is Captain Camo. This figure comes from the Skylander dude. Many years ago now, one of the first customs that was sent to me. The second custom camo figure comes from Earthen Avenger, another customizer I met in the community and made this figure and sent it to me as well. This figure we refer to as Berry Blast Camo. Now the next 4 figures all come from the same source. Actually, the next 5 or 6 figures I'll be showing off come from the same source. Rainstorm Riddles. If you have not seen her work, I highly recommend you check it out. She's recently started up her YouTube channel again and shows you some behind the scenes stuff with the work she does, but also just loves diving into Skylanders lore. In any case, she has provided me in one way or another with the next few custom figures. This includes Spring Frost Camo, Autumn Leaf Camo, Dragon Fruit Camo, and Watermelon Camo. But I have recently added to this collection with her Shadowlander series. She made a whole series of these figures and they are fantastic. I mean, naturally I had to pick up the camo version, the Shadow Camo, but there's another one that really caught my eye, and I also picked up the Shadow Double Trouble. But I don't just get customs from folks out in the community. Sometimes I get customs from within my own house. I am very proud to say that my wife created this next custom figure, and it's one of my favorites. Polar Breeze. That's right. Polar Breeze. Just look at this thing. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this was an official variant. But in addition to all these custom figures, there are a few other loose figures that I keep in my collection that we haven't talked about yet. For example, we have this prototype Double Trouble figure. I recently got this within the past year or so. It, I believe, is based, I think it was 3D printed using some kind of like sandstone material. I don't know exactly the entire process of how these are made, but I've seen a few other ones with a similar material before, and this is the only one that I've been able to get my hands on. This is one of those things that I don't need a ton of them, but I think it's cool to have an example of one. and I've always appreciated the design of Double Trouble, so I think this is a cool one to have. Beyond that, I decided to keep a few variations, whether intentional or not. We have one Purple Lip Chill. This is one that we actually sell in the shop because we do find it often enough. We have a listing for this figure in the shop. The lips are actually supposed to be blue, but the first print run of these, the first production run, they got the lip color wrong. They fixed it later, and there are definitely more blue lip chills out there than the purple lip, but the purple lip are still fairly common to find. In the same vein, but much more rare, is this pink hat Fling Kong. I've talked about this briefly before in a few live streams and such, and I've only seen this maybe 3 times in my life, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of them. But this is another sort of factory error type of thing. Like, obviously it made it out of the factory, but I don't see them super often. So I don't know if it was an entire print run of these necessarily. I mean, the figure itself, Fling Kong, is tough enough to find, but I don't know how many of these pink hat versions made it into the retail arena. Next in my collection, I have a few items that I'm collecting basically for the packaging. I know that sounds crazy and absurd to some, but I think they're cool. First is this Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade Eruptor. So this figure was handed out or sent to members of the media around Thanksgiving time that year, and it's not a functional figure at all. It's just a display piece. So you take it out of this box and it just falls apart. But it looks cool. There was actually an Eruptor float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and so it's a figure of that float. And they found a way to make it look like it's floating there in the box with the backdrop of New York City there as well. Next is a limited Easter edition Legendary Lightcore Chill. A special little Easter box here. It has little Easter egg cutout here, says limited Easter edition. To my knowledge, this was only released in the UK. I think that's where I've seen all of them come out of. I've never seen it anywhere else, but it's just a nice little piece, very unique. Inside this box, it's just like the interior plastic piece that holds the figure with the card and sticker that would normally be inside the box. So they just have that in this box here. And like, it's still sealed on the top here. I haven't opened it up actually, but you can see through the window there that there's no other box surrounding it, but there is that like plastic insert there. And you can even see the little bit of the light core holographic portion of the box right there. These next 2 items are very similar in nature. And if you've followed along for a long time with Skylanders, and or if you were there from the beginning with Spyro's Adventure, you may remember seeing these items in stores. First, we have this Target exclusive Whirlwind. So Whirlwind, when it first came out, was a Target exclusive figure, but it was a timed exclusive. I don't recall exactly how long it was, if it was just a few weeks or a couple of months, but for a while, you could only find Whirlwind, just the standard Whirlwind figure at Target. And so they added this only at Target sticker to the first batch of figures that came out. So most of those, of course, would have been opened to be played with, but thankfully some folks kept these intact so we can add them to our collection. In a very similar vein, Drill Sergeant was originally exclusive to Walmart. Now, this is a little bit confusing for some because Red Drill Sergeant, the variant figure, was also a Walmart exclusive here in the US at least. And so to have the Red Drill Sergeant with the sticker and then the standard version with the sticker, it seems almost redundant, or it can just be very confusing. It's like, which one are you talking about? Like, especially for folks trying to find this one, the standard version with the Walmart exclusive sticker. But I did run across one in a collection that I bought, and so I decided to keep it. Here's one I haven't talked about in a while. The Japanese version of Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. This came out in 2013. They released Spyro's Adventure in Japan. And they obviously changed the packaging a little bit. I mean, I'll just grab this over here to show you again for comparison. But you can see how they straightened out the edges of the box. The flare at the top of the box is gone. So the Spyro's Adventure Japanese boxes are a different shape than the boxes that we got here in the States or the rest of the world, honestly. But beyond that, obviously there's Japanese writing all over this box. So that's a big giveaway there. But once again, the figure itself is just exactly the same. There's nothing different about the figure, but the packaging here, the trading card inside, you can see it does have the Japanese writing on as well. So I would imagine the sticker and maybe even the web code in there, if these came with web codes as well, would all be in Japanese too. So I've seen a number of Japanese figures over the years. They did release the full Spyro's Adventure set. I know there are people out there that are trying to collect the entire set. I don't know if anyone's done it yet, but there are a lot of these out there. But once again, you're really just collecting the packaging. Speaking of cool packaging, though, this definitely falls into that category. This is the pre-order gift box that folks over in Europe got for Skylanders Swap Force. Here in the US, we had the pre-order card that we would basically purchase the card, and if you got it from Target, that had a UFO hat in it, right? That was the exclusive thing that you're getting. Well, in Europe, they did it a little bit differently. You would pre-order the game, and when the game came out, they would give you this box. And this box, if you can see it here, came with a few things. It came with your light core hex, it came with the UFO hat card, and it came with a poster. And I mean, obviously this box as well too, which is kind of unique. So it opens up here, and I love this box because you can technically swap with this box, and you already started swapping just with the box here. But inside the box, they have all the pieces. There is a full-on new in box light core hex. We're keeping that in the box there. I want to keep this all together. We have this poster. It's a giant folded up poster here. And then there's also the UFO hat card. So this one looks a little bit different than the US version. You can see it has all the consoles down on the bottom here because you didn't have to specify which console when you bought the card, because you didn't get this card until you picked up the game. So all those things are included in this little gift box. And then the last box I want to share with you is the biggest box of them all. And this one I know I've talked about a lot. So this is the Skylanders Battlegrounds box that you would have gotten over in Europe when you purchased an LG TV. And if that sounds familiar, it's because these are the boxes where you would have found clear whirlwind or red camo. This is how they were distributed in these boxes in Europe when you bought an LG TV. So this box has already been opened, and I will show you basically what's inside here. But they came with 3 figures, new in-box Skylanders figures, SSA figures. So you got this Double Trouble there. We did get a Whirlwind It's not the clear whirlwind, but it is a whirlwind. And looks like we also got Igniter. So they came with 3 things there. Down in the bottom of this box then, there is also a code that would unlock the Battlegrounds game. And there is a portal down in the bottom. So they kind of show you here, the portal is down in the bottom as well. So there's a bit of heft to this box because it's a starter pack for Skylanders Battlegrounds. Now, we had a starter pack for Skylanders Battlegrounds in the US, but that was where we got Double Trouble 1.5, Royal Double Trouble, the Platinum Treasure Chest. That was in that pack. In Europe, when they did this promotion, they just gave you 3 random SSA figures, and then they introduced new chase variants. Next up, we have this single pack Punch Pop Fizz. And this is not a repack or anything like that. It is actually Punch Pop Fizz, as it says on the package here. Got the card, sticker, everything to go along with it. You may notice it has the European double hook. So this was only released in the UK. There is a similar Dark Spyro single pack that was only released in the UK as well. Here in the US, these were 3DS starter pack exclusives. I don't know why they decided to give a single pack out there, but they did. And so they're definitely harder to find, but they do exist. So I got my Punch Pop Fizz. If I ever find a single pack Dark Spyro, I'm keeping that one as well. Then we have the Error Nightfall. This is the recalled Nightfall. It's difficult to test for nowadays because they patched most of the games, so that even this figure will work in most of the games now. But once again, like I said, I'm basically collecting the packaging when it comes to these figures. So you may notice on the front here, the Nightfall being 2 words instead of 1, like it should be. When they came out with the reprint of this, they did fix that, made Nightfall 1 word. And then on the back of the box here, we'll try to show you right here in the middle section where it shows on this box Spitfire and Hot Streak, and shows how they're supercharged. This should be Nightfall plus Sea Shadow, and will show how it's supercharged. But that's another one of those errors that they got wrong for the first time for some reason, and it just so happened then the figure didn't work either, and so they all got recalled. I decided to keep mine because I thought it was cool, but then this becomes rare because most people sent theirs back in to get the replacement figure that would work right away, and it came in the different box then. So my Error Nightfall, tough to come by. This next item might just be the rarest item in my collection. I've only ever seen it once, and I jumped on it as fast as I could. This is the E3 Spyro. Not the Chrome Spyro that was handed out at E3, but E3 Spyro that was sent to members of the media prior to Spyro's Adventure being released. So summer of 2011, when they said, "Bring me to life at the Activision E3 booth." That's what the sticker says here. And there is a single pack Spyro, a single pack Gil Grunt, and a single pack Trigger Happy. These are super, super rare to find in the package nowadays because most of them were brought to the booth and opened up. But I got my hands on a Spyro. I know someone who has their hands on an E3 Trigger Happy, and that Gil Grunt is ever elusive. We have yet to really come across one. Even on the internet, pictures of that package, there's one picture that's like a little, 20 by 20 pixel image of the Gil Grunt packaging. Like, that's the best picture we have. But this E3 Spyro, personally, I don't know anybody else that has one. So like I said, this to me is the rarest item in my collection by far. The figure itself does not actually work in the finalized game. It only worked on the demo that they were showing at E3. It has like single pack here, has the sticker. The box shape is, and this plastic bubble, it's not quite the same. The plastic insert inside, if I tip this back, you can see it's loose. Like that's just how they made them. You may notice in the background, the card isn't there. It just says Skylanders Spyro's Adventure in the back. And the back of the box is completely blank. Oh, and I should also note, there's no hook slot up top. Like these were very temporary, very not meant for retail boxes. But this is how they introduced the game to the media. Now we're starting to get into some of the random merchandise stuff. I have recently collected all these Skylanders soundtracks. So the CDs, the audio CDs of the soundtracks, they created them for the first 4 games. So we got Spyro's Adventure there. We got Giants. We have Swap Force. And we have Trap Team. I was recently able to get a whole case, actually, of these Swap Force soundtracks. And so those are, as of this recording, available in the SCL shop. So sclcollectibles.com, you can go check them out there. Then we have Sky Stones, possibly my favorite little mini game in Skylanders, Sky Stones. These are uncirculated Sky Stones. You can see they're still attached here. Just one of these packs was supposed to be inserted into each cereal box. That General Mills promotion that they did. They have the perforations here where they're supposed to tear off, but for some reason, these were not torn, and they obviously then were not in the cereal boxes. So I don't know who got their hands on these, but hey, I'll take them. Here is a Skylanders Adventure Club membership card. So this was a GameStop promotion that they had going on for I don't know how long. I don't remember actually seeing too much about it when I was collecting Skylanders, so I don't know how long it lasted. But it says, be sure to use your Skylanders Adventure Club card when you make a purchase at GameStop. Your club card is linked to your Power Up Rewards Pro membership. Maybe that was part of it. I didn't have Power Up Rewards Pro membership. So that could have been part of it. But yeah, Skylanders Adventure Club. They knew Skylanders was such a big thing that they created a special membership program within their membership program just for Skylanders collectors. Chompies! These are my favorite little guys. And they don't get enough love. They don't get enough merch. So when I saw there was a Chompy Happy Meal toy, like, I needed Chompy Army. And finally, I got my Chompy Army. I have like 5. I thought I had 6 of these guys. I could only find 5 of them right now. But I have a Chompy Army. These are just the Happy Meal toys. But I love them. I love them. And like I said, sometimes it's just random little merch. This one, honestly, is a little bit more for my wife's collection. Because tiny things are cute, right? But little tiny mini portals. I think the battery has run out on this one. We can replace it though. But you press down on it, it does light up. I don't know what it does beyond that. I think it's kind of like a flashlight because there's a little hole here with the light. But yeah, just little Skylanders merchandise. It's awesome. Now we start moving into the world of books. There are dozens, probably hundreds. I don't know if we reach thousands, but definitely hundreds of different Skylanders books out there. When you include all the different types of activity books and sticker books and comic books and just random lore books that are out there for Skylanders, there's a lot. There really is a lot. But I did start collecting some of the comic books. So I've never really gotten into comics that much, but I mean, it's Skylanders, and I love the artwork. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here, and there are a surprising number of Skylanders comic books out there. I'm not even sure how many I have or how many I'm missing. And then there's even, so I found these with the blank cover. We got these straight from one of the authors, Ron Mars, or yeah, I think so. But he was offering these up on Twitter one day, I think. And he's like, all right, I'll throw them up on eBay. And we got the blank cover. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I just have a whole bunch of these. And like I said, I don't have them cataloged right now. I don't know how many I have. I will show you. I have this many. This whole stack of them here. So a bunch of them there. I'll have to go through at some point. I know I've gone through and at least pulled out duplicates. I don't know if I have them all. I don't think I have the complete comic book collection. But that's something I'll probably look into completing someday. But the other books I'm even more thrilled to have in my collection are the 2 Vicarious Visions art books. This is something I wish they would have put out for every game. And I wish it's something that they would have made available at the retail level, because the information and the artwork put into these books is just so amazing to see for any Skylanders fan. But these were books that were essentially employee exclusives. They were handed out to people who worked on the game. And like employee exclusive figures, these books have trickled down into the Skylanders community as well. So like I said, there are 2 of these books. This one called Strata, The Art of Skylanders Swap Force. So they come in these little cardboard sleeves, and they're hardcover books. They're absolutely beautiful, but there's too much in here for me to show you today. Let's see if I can just, so they show you like early concept artwork and prototype figures for basically all the characters. They get some input from people who actually worked on the game and on the characters, and there's just so much artwork. It's an art book. That's what it is. But there's this artwork from when the game was first conceptualized all the way to the final stages. And there's various, level artwork. It's not just the characters and villains, but the levels themselves. They share a bunch of that stuff. So there's a lot of other names and stuff in here as well, where if David Rodriguez, that's who I got that comic book from before. I just saw his name pop up in here. But so many little tidbits of information that are peppered throughout these books. Here's a popular character, right? Everybody loves Scratch. But just look at what she maybe could have been at one point and how she finally ended up in the final figure form over here. But then in the middle, they have a bunch of different iterations of what they tried to make her look like, and different abilities and power-ups and different sketches that they went through to get to the final figure. It's just a lot of fun to look through these books. So, like I said, these only came out for Vicarious Visions games. So similarly, 2 years later, they put out Clutch, The Art of Skylanders Superchargers. So we're guessing, Clutch feels like vehicles. So maybe that was like a code name for the game at some point. I don't know. So maybe similarly with Swap Force and Strata, I don't know if that was like a code name for the game or something. But Clutch is the other book you're looking for if you're trying to find this out there. That is the book there. Then the last items I have for you in the sort of oddball non-figure arena are cards. I have 2 card collections that I like. There are a lot more trading cards out there. The Topps cards, I don't really collect those. But what I do collect, the complete collection I have is the stat cards. So the stat cards, I have the stickers and codes on the back of these pages here. I don't know if there's too much glare on there for you, but you can see all the stat cards for all the games in this binder, all the way through Superchargers when we just had stickers, but they are all contained in this binder. That collection is complete. The other collection that I'm still working on, though, is Skylanders Battlecast. I've been at this one for a while, but it's a tough one. So you can see them here, and I'm missing a few because I have the complete base set, but then the entire set was done in silver foil and gold foil. And those are very, very hard to come by. It's not like they come one per pack. And the gold foil are significantly harder to find than silver foil. So I am still on the hunt for a lot of these gold and silver foil Battlecast cards. But that's something that I get to collect now. Even if I finish my figure collection, which I'm still short of, I will have another task in these Battlecast cards. Now, if you have any of the items that I'm missing, or if you just have any cool Skylanders items you think I might be interested in, please feel free to reach out. I recommend that you send an email to matt@skylanderscharacterlist.com. That's matt@skylanderscharacterlist.com. And include pictures of whatever you have available. Oh, and don't forget, we're always buying Skylanders collections as well. If you have a full collection or just a few duplicates that you've accumulated over the years, I'd love to help find new homes for them.